Welcome, everyone. I'd like to start by acknowledging the Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, Musqueam, and Coquitlam peoples on whose traditional territory we are privileged to be gathered this afternoon. I would like to invite Ms. Jessie Chung, who is graduating today with a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology and a minor in Business. She is a member of the SFU Vocal Jazz Choir, and she will lead us all in singing O Canada. Jessie.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land, glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. Please be seated. I declare the Spring 2018 Convocation assembled for the granting of degrees. Mr. President, members of the Board of Governors and Senate, faculty, honored guests, graduands, and friends, I am Anne Giardini, the Chancellor of Simon Fraser University. We are delighted and honored to have you join us this afternoon for Convocation. In attendance are a number of distinguished guests in the audience and on the platform, including members of Senate, vice presidents, deans, and faculty. I would like to acknowledge that we have with us today Ms. Julia Kim, Board Chair Emeritus, Dr. Ashok Khosla, who will be conferred an Honorary Doctor of Laws this afternoon, and our SFU Alumni Legacy President, parents and families. Welcome to all of you. And thanks to all of our visitors for your patience with the construction you can see around you on campus. Behind the platform on my left will soon be the SFU Student Society's new Student Union building, which will be entirely devoted to students with lounges, study areas, meeting rooms, and recreational facilities. And directly behind me is a public plaza renewal project, which will improve accessibility and create more gathering spaces as we renew some of our aging infrastructure. Convocation is a time when we somehow manage to turn our gaze in two directions at once. We look back with a sense of success and completion concerning all that you have accomplished in your time at SFU. And we look ahead with hopes and expectations for all you will do in the days ahead. Right now, we are gathered at a place and in a moment when transformation occurs. The ancient Romans recognized an odd and distinctive deity, the two-faced god Janus. He was believed to have authority over beginnings and endings, gates and passageways, and transitions from one place to another, and over what we call liminal or threshold places. One of his two profiles looks ahead to the time to come, while the other directs his gaze into the past. Janus's name is easy to remember, by the way. He's the origin of our modern word janitor, because he was seen as someone who keeps the disorder of the world outside at bay, maintaining the separate space within. Today you have behind you classes, papers, hard work, deep thought, quizzes, examinations, shared activities, lonely study, contemplation, conversations, days of doubt and panic, days of exploration and joy. Don't let anyone tell you that this part of your life has not been real life. Your years as a student are as tangible and as human and as leafy with meaning as any you will experience in the days ahead. You're headed outward now, across this SFU threshold into a hurried and busy world. Most of you will find your way into work or into careers. You have great potential and, among you, a vast array of plans. You will work, maintain relationships, volunteer, continue, I hope, to learn, stay on top of current events, make or listen to music, invent, stay fit, perhaps raise families, and certainly make a difference. Because you are or about to become SFU grads, I have every confidence that you will flourish in the days to come. You will be innovative. You will be attentive. You will be creative. You will find time to consider how this world might be changed for the better. You might very well do something yourself, large or small, to bring about that difference. In a rushed and hectic world, you may worry whether there will be enough time for you to accomplish all that you intend to do. I am happy to assure you that the time ahead is abundant. The days are long. The hours are many. I hope you enjoy the time to come and experience it as profuse rather than as running away from you. English, our shared language, is marvelous in many ways, but it's limited in how we frame the concept of time. The Greeks, for example, had at least two words for time, chronos and kairos. Chronos, which we can hear in words such as chronological and anachronism, refers to measured seconds and minutes and hours of clock time. Kairos is a very different concept, referring to significant moments instead of measurable and utilitarian time. Kairos is an enveloping instant, such as the one in which we find ourselves. It is the right, the promising, the auspicious pause in time. The earliest way to track time was by following the arc of the sun, but the first automated measure of time made use of water that dripped from or seeped into a bowl. It feels to me as if these earliest automated clocks might have got time right. The best and most productive time for most of us is when we find ourselves like water in a state of flow, when each event and task feels as if it's leading somehow in a way that feels inevitable to the next. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman put it this way in his book, Thinking Fast and Slow. In a state of flow, maintaining focused attention on absorbing activities requires no exertion of self-control, thereby freeing resources to be directed to the task at hand. Many activities can induce a sense of flow, he tells us, from painting to racing motorcycles to even writing a book. The enemy of flow is interruption. Who among us is not both the owner and the victim of these little devices that we carry around in our pockets everywhere? These marvelous phones of ours are wonderful in too many ways to list, but they can kill flow and can, if we let them, nibble away at our ability to do our best work. The poet Jane Hirschfield has written about the wholeheartedness of concentration, a place where world and self begin to cohere. With that state comes an enlarging of what may be known, what may be felt, what may be done. So we need to be discerning in the interruptions we allow or risk the loss of mental, emotional, and transcendent space, that state of flow in which our best thoughts and work arise. Looking back at what you have achieved, today's degree or certificate is evidence that you are capable of sustained thought and work. Looking forward, as we do at this moment, I hope that you will spend your time both profligately and wisely, and will spend many hours in that productive, satisfying state that engenders the very best that you are capable of. Please stay in touch with those of us who remain here on this side of the threshold. We are proud of you and grateful and changed and improved by this time that we have spent together. Thank you. I now call on the president of our university, Professor Andrew Petter.
Thank you. Madam Chancellor, honored guests, members of the Board of Governors and Senate, faculty members, staff, and most especially graduates, family, and friends. It is my privilege to preside at this culminating celebration of your education at Simon Fraser University. As this ceremony unfolds, our message to you is clear. As each of you receives your degree, I and my colleagues on stage, together with the entire SFU community, want you to know how proud we are of you. We've seen your work, we've admired your performance. Your degrees are not merely documents of accreditation, they're a living testament to the faith we have in your ability to flourish in a changing world. And that's a good ability to have, because the world is most assuredly changing. A recent Oxford University study estimated that 47% of current jobs will be automated out of existence over the next 20 years. When I attended university, lo, those many years ago, I was encouraged to believe that if I developed a good career plan, that plan could serve me for a lifetime. In today's dynamic world, the notion of planning a lifelong career is as redundant as many of the careers for which I might have planned. The need to plan one's future has been overtaken by the need to equip oneself for multiple futures, many of which are yet unknown. This point was driven home to me earlier this year at our SFU Public Square Community Summit, which explored the future of work. One of the main presenters was American political activist and commentator Van Jones. Like Chancellor Giardini, Jones had been thinking about different concepts of time, looking particularly at how changing perceptions of time have affected our approaches to work. In the agrarian era, he noted, time was perceived as circular. Life revolved around daily and seasonal cycles. The sun came up, the sun went down. Spring gave way to summer, which faded to fall and turned to winter, only to begin the cycle again. Tomorrow was the same as yesterday. In this era of circular time, Jones noted, the most important value for survival was preservation. Preservation of culture, of knowledge, of ritual, and most practically, preservation of seeds. Then came the industrial age, an era of transformation and change. In this era, time became linear, the past behind you, the present with you, the future in front but still distant. Jones compared the industrial era to being on a train with a track ahead leading one to a new destination. In this era, this unfolding environment, the key value for survival was planning. One could look ahead and prepare for a lifetime of well-ordered tomorrows. But the industrial era has now been supplanted by a digital era, in which Jones said we are no longer traveling into the future, rather the future is coming towards us, and at an ever faster pace, no longer content to wait for our plans to unfold. In his words, the future is onrushing, bringing with it changes that overwhelm our ability to plan. So today, the key value for survival is not preservation or planning, but rather adaptability, or as Jones calls it, the capacity to pivot. It was a compelling analysis, though I would argue that even in the past, adaptability has been an important attribute. There's a quote chiseled onto the floor of the California Academy of Sciences in San Francisco, originally attributed to Charles Darwin. It reads, "It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent. It is the one that is the most adaptable to change." It's a tribute to the California Academy's own adaptability that they've since rubbed out that mistaken attribution and given proper credit to Leon Megginson, a professor of management studies, who wrote those words in 1963 as part of a contemplation on Darwin's work. So how do you learn to be adaptable? Well, I'd argue that you choose to study at an institution like Simon Fraser University. As Canada's engaged university, we've enabled you not only to gain knowledge of the disciplines you have studied, but also to think critically, to solve problems, and to make your own decisions. And we've offered you diverse learning experiences, including opportunities to study at 3 distinct campuses, to learn in the classroom and in the community, and to gain intercultural understanding and international perspectives, both at home and abroad. In sum, your education has been about equipping you with the knowledge, aptitudes, and skills that are required to be adaptable citizens and to thrive in a rapidly changing world. As you embark now from this stage of your education, as you embrace a future in which you are likely to have multiple careers, you will need to continue learning and updating your skills. But thanks to your education here, you will do so based on a strong foundation. You also face the future as members of an adaptable community of over 150,000 SFU alumni spread across 140 countries around the world. And when you need to update your knowledge and skills, when you confront issues that are outside the scope of your expertise, we at SFU will always be here for you. So please stay in touch. In the years to come, the relationships that you have formed in your time here with friends and colleagues, with faculty and mentors, will serve you better than any single lesson. For now, this is your time. Enjoy it, but use it wisely. Share it generously with those you love and just as generously with those who don't have your advantages. We will thrive in this changing world only if we all can adapt and flourish together. Most importantly, seize your time with confidence and with optimism. You've earned the accolades and credits you receive today. Make the most of them, and you will lead us to a better world. Again, congratulations to you all.
SFU's honorary degree is the highest honor conferred by the university. Honorary degrees are awarded to distinguished individuals in recognition of their scholarly, scientific, or artistic achievement, or in recognition of exceptional contribution to the public good through professional or philanthropic activity. Honorary degree recipients' achievements celebrate our university's values and serve as an inspiration and role model to our students and our graduates and our communities. The honorary degree will now be conferred. To present the honorary degree candidate, Dr. Ashut Khosla, I am pleased to welcome Dr. Joy Johnson. Dr. Johnson is SFU's Vice President, Research and International, where she leads the university's strategic research initiatives and facilitates international opportunities that foster research collaborations and student exchange. Dr. Johnson is a professor in the Faculty of Health Sciences at Simon Fraser University. Dr. Johnson.
Madam Chancellor, I am honored to present Dr. Ashut Khosla, a renowned pioneer and expert in the field of environment and sustainable development, both in India and around the globe. In 1965, Dr. Khosla was a member of the team that designed and taught Harvard University's pioneering flagship course on the environment. On completing his PhD in experimental physics from the university in 1970, the government of India asked him to return and establish the country's Office of Environmental Planning and Coordination, the first environmental agency in the developing world. In 1976, Dr. Khosla joined the United Nations Environment Program to set up the first international information system on the environment, a radical innovation called Infoterra. Dr. Khosla subsequently founded the Development Alternatives Group, a social enterprise formed in 1983 that supports financially viable social enterprises for marginalized people, aimed at regenerating degrading lands and implementing renewable resource technologies. A trailblazer in his field, he has developed and helped define key frameworks for controlling pollution and managing the conservation of natural resources and the wildlife. Focused on assessing environmental impacts, preserving natural and cultural heritage, and raising public awareness, Dr. Khosla has served in senior positions with many international commissions, summits, and organizations for the environment. These include the World Commission on Environment and Development, the United Nations University, and the World Bank. He has been a co-chair of the UN's International Resource Panel and president of the International Union for the Conservation of Nature and of the Club of Rome. He has served on the boards of several environment and conservation organizations, such as the China Council for International Cooperation on Environment and Development, the World Wildlife Fund, Energy Globe, and Expo 2000. Among his many awards and honors, he is an officer of the Order of the British Empire and was awarded the UN Saskia Environment Prize and the Zayed International Environment Prize. Madam Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate of this university, I ask that you now confer upon Ashok Khosla the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Ashok Khosla, by virtue of the authority vested in me and in the Senate of this university, I do hereby admit you to the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. Dr. Ashok Khosla will be hooded by Dr. Wade Parkhouse, Vice Provost and Associate Vice President Academic, and Ms. Romana Khan-Hamani, Registrar and Executive Director of Student Enrollment.
Congratulations. It is now my great pleasure to call on Dr. Ashok Khosla for his convocation address.
Chancellor Anne Giardini, President Andrew Petta, distinguished teachers, proud and no doubt relieved parents, and most important, all of you, and indeed all of us, whose life for learning is only just beginning. I feel deeply privileged to be invited here at the convocation ceremony of a university whose central purpose and commitment is not just to knowledge and excellence, which after all is the job of every university, but equally to ground-level praxis and relevance, which are commodities that are very rare in the academic world. 50 years ago, when I was a student, we used to dream of what's called a reflective practitioner, a professional who not only had skills, engineering, law, medical, whatever, but also had the ethics and the morality of a good human being. Reflective practitioners were far and few between, and universities were beginning to realize that something needed to be done about that. 50 years later, we haven't improved very much, but this particular campus, this university, is certainly at the leading edge of making that dream come true. But engaging the world, like nostalgia, is not what it used to be. It takes a lot more courage today and a lot more insight than it ever did before. The successive industrial and institutional revolutions that have taken place over the last 300 years have improved the lives, the health, longevity, and fulfillment of so many human lives, seem also to have arrived within less than 10 generations to a full circle of pretty grim version of a payback period. The payback time today is confronting all of us, particularly the young, the ones who are going to go out into the world. With each day that passes, our world faces rapid and ever-accelerating change, which President Petter also referred to a few minutes ago. We face domineering machines, we have to deal with voodoo economics, and a bewildering runaway complexity in our world. As we gasp for fresh air and clean water, while we drown in a sea of wastes, we push nature and society to their limits. In some cases, we've even transgressed those limits irreversibly. Life-threatening consequences are what we face right now. I'm not here to tell you about doomsday. The reason I'm here is to say that this can be prevented, but unless we move fast and unless we move now, the generations that follow us will pay very heavy costs. Rise in the level and in the acidity of oceans, extinction of species. We are now in the middle of the 6th mass extinction. Scarcity of fresh water. Might be difficult for people in Vancouver to realize, but there are cities where water is not available for more than 1 or 2 hours a day. Right now in Southern California, in Cape Town, and in my own city, the capital of India, water is a major problem for all the citizens. And so indeed are a lot of other things. People are now fighting for sand to construct buildings. They're fighting to protect their land and soils and rivers because of the massive increase of use that we put them to. And then, at the same time, we have half the people of our world living outside the mainstream economy, many of them in abject poverty and persistent hunger. We now seem to be barreling down the highway of mindless consumption and ceaseless destruction, all for a few short-lived comforts and temporary gratifications. And the rich few get richer, while the great masses get poorer, and nature gets massacred by both. To turn back from this lemming-like collective suicide and to enable civilization to survive and flourish, institutions like this university and generations like yours in particular, and the individuals in each of those generations, have to take a certain amount of responsibility because they are critically important. Each generation has to figure out the life it wants to live and the contributions it wants or does not want to make. But this generation that is graduating today is certainly going to have to address the issues that no one really had to address before. When I graduated, almost half a century ago, the mood in countries like mine, India, was how can we build a truly great nation out of the rubble of a benighted, poverty-ridden colonial past. Like all of you, I was one of the very tiny minority in our world who had the privilege of studying at the best institutions of learning. The first driving concern for me at that time, and still today, was the question of responsibility. What is the responsibility of those who have received so much support, so much knowledge, so much wealth, towards those who have not? What is the responsibility of the 10% to the 90% that got left behind? My own answer has been to try and build institutions that can create opportunities for those who were left behind, and to help them to create or access widely needed life and livelihood solutions. With speed and scale, two goals that unfortunately still remain elusive in most areas of our life and world. How can the virus that so dramatically infected the spread of mobile phones be genetically engineered to do the same for eliminating hunger, poverty, and extreme deprivation? The second driver for me at the time when I was growing up out of college and into the real world of work was to acquire the skills that I would need to make the kind of contribution that would make a difference. Given the complexity and the speed of change that President Petter referred to, obviously one major part of it was adaptation. Every day, things were changing so rapidly that if you didn't adapt in a Darwinian sense, you were going to be at a disadvantage. But in part, I must go beyond what President Petter said. It's not simply a matter of adaptation anymore. It's a matter of fashioning, creating the kind of future that we need also. So while you're adapting to changes beyond your control, you need to bring within your control the changes that you want to see for the future. And that is much harder. I basically came to the conclusion way back in the 60s that what we most needed was systems thinking, clear, logical thinking, which is the basis of any good decision making. Unfortunately, systems thinking wasn't taught in normal academic courses. So I chose to study the physical sciences, which were a close cousin, and which I found personally deeply satisfying and rewarding, but also as a surrogate for understanding how the world works. And the third driver that was a deep concern for me was legacy. What is the legacy that our generation will leave to the future ones that follow us in terms of the strength and the resilience of our social systems, social institutions, the health and productivity of our natural systems, and the wealth and equitable distribution of our huge economic assets that we've built up. Over the decades, I've been fortunate to have had supporters and co-workers with whom we were able to make a small difference in these domains. I very much hope that you will be as fortunate, if not more so, because we desperately need those changes. Only then can we expect a more sustainable future for all our fellow citizens on this beautiful, life-filled, but oh so fragile planet, which we call our collective home. Madam Chancellor, having missed all 4 convocations of my own formal degrees, I particularly want to thank you as well for giving me this opportunity to finally receive a degree of my own. Thank you.
Thank you. Don't forget your degree, though. Thank you, Dr. Khosla, for that sobering address and stirring call to action. Ladies and gentlemen, as part of Convocation, the Alumni Association will present a Simon Fraser University Alumni Pin to the graduates as they leave the stage. Our alumni are incredibly important to us, and we're pleased that this symbolic presentation will launch you on your new role as alumni of SFU. Mr. Sam Tierra received a Bachelor of Business Administration in 1986. He's also currently a member of the SFU Alumni Association Board of Directors. I invite Sam to the lectern to bring greetings to the graduands. Sam?
Thank you, President Petter. On behalf of your elected SFU Alumni Association Board, I extend my congratulations to you all. You are now lifetime members of our SFU alumni community, a worldwide network that is now more than 155,000 strong in over 140 countries. Your relationship with SFU transforms now as your journey continues. We are here to help you expand your personal and professional network through local, national, and international events, and to support your success through offering access to career resources, library services, and many other value-added items. Our goal is to have you serve as engaged alumni, helping advance and enhance the student experience for our future graduates and serving as ambassadors for SFU in your community. As you cross the stage today, I'll present you with an Alumni Pin. Wear it as a symbol of your incredible achievement and connection to SFU. Be proud of your accomplishments, be proud of your SFU credential, and thank you all for investing your time, energy, talents in this great university. Congratulations again, and welcome to the Alumni Association. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Before the graduands are presented individually to the Chancellor, Ms. Lauren Mccray, a member of the graduating class, will address Convocation. Lauren is graduating with an honors Bachelor of Arts in Psychology. As a student, she worked as a psychology teaching assistant, a clinical editor for SFU's undergraduate Journal of Psychology, and as a research assistant in Dr. Lara Aknin and Dr. Rebecca Cobb's research labs. She has received major awards and scholarships, including the London Drugs 60th Anniversary Student Award and the Mary Batchelor Memorial Award for Service and Academic Achievement. This fall, she will begin graduate work in SFU's clinical psychology program. It's now my great pleasure to call upon Ms. Lauren Mccray for the graduate address. Lauren?
Thank you very much for the introduction, and good afternoon, everyone. President Petter, Honorable Chancellor, faculty, staff, friends, family, and most of all, congratulations, everyone. For some of us, this graduation day might have been a long time coming. Even though the few years that we spent at SFU is likely only a small portion of our lives in the long run, actually getting to this point might have felt like a never-ending maze of surprises and challenges. Although I'm graduating with my degree from SFU, I actually began in school taking classes at a community college in Vancouver, Langara. This was a matter of necessity to get back into school because I never graduated high school. And without those requisite high school grades to enter a four-year university, I had to do a bit of a roundabout route to get here. For me, graduation, any graduation, seemed like an elusive tradition that I would never actually be a part of. I'll start this story by saying that I missed my kindergarten graduation, and I don't think I ever got over it. In high school, rather than focusing on my education, I was focused on exerting my independence and challenging anyone who tried to tell me that they knew what was best for me. Dropping out of school and leaving home at 16 felt like a radical act, something that would build character and make for a great story in the long run. A few years into living on my own, I quit my waitressing job in Edmonton, moved to Vancouver with no plans of how I would actually support myself once I got here. Another well thought out and radical life choice by the genius teenage me. All of this felt like quite the happy adventure until I decided I wanted to come back to school, and I realized that all of my years burning bridges, both personally and academically, was going to make achieving my dreams a lot more difficult. But if you know me at all, you will know that I've never shied away from difficult things. When I've been faced with situations that threaten my sense of security, I've always been the type of person to just dig my heels in even more. This doesn't mean that I don't feel fear or anxiety or even terror. It just means that through all of my experiences, I have learned that the best rewards are often found on the other side of all of those gut-wrenching emotions. My happiest moments have always followed saying yes to things that completely terrified me. Things like moving away from home and then coming back to school, defending my honors thesis, giving the speech at my convocation ceremony. These are all things that at times have brought me to tears and have made me doubt my ability to succeed. But I say yes to them because I know that fear is only a sign that something is unknown, and I say yes because I want to make it known. I need to know that I can succeed at each of these things so that I can move forward in my life never fearing that same thing again. Although our stories of how we came to SFU are different, I know that all of us had said yes to things that we didn't believe we could do because that's what university is all about. Nobody enters a program here thinking, this sounds like a relaxing way to spend the next couple of years. University is designed to be difficult. It's designed to test your limits and at times make you feel uncomfortable. But only by saying yes to things that seem difficult do we begin to understand our capacity to endure discomfort and carry on even in the face of fear. Practically speaking, we're all leaving SFU with more than what we arrived with. We all now have these degrees. We have the knowledge that we gained here. I'm sure some of us have much better looking CVs than when we arrived. But the most important thing, I think, is the change that we've experienced within ourselves during our time here. We're different people now than when we began. And I hope that you get to take a few moments today to take stock of those changes and to thank yourself for allowing those changes to happen. And of course, we need to thank the people in our lives who supported us while we worked on these degrees. For me, this speech would not be complete without thanking my fiance, David. Davey, thank you for your enduring patience, support, sense of humor, and for at least pretending to be interested in every single one of the papers I've written these past 4 years. Thank you also to my family who traveled here from Edmonton and are doing a great job of not acting completely shocked that I'm up on this podium right now. Thank you to all the professors and staff here at SFU. You are the architects of this difficult university experience, and you are the reason that so many of us feel pushed to achieve more than we believe we are capable of. And finally, to my fellow graduates, just keep saying yes. I promise it will be worth it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you, Lauren. The members of the graduating class will now be presented to the Chancellor to be admitted en masse to their degrees. Will the graduates please rise? Pretty good-looking group, don't you think? Madam Chancellor, I present to you those scholars who have fulfilled the statutory requirements laid down by the Senate of this university, and I request that you confer upon them the degrees for which they are now recommended.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the Senate of this university, I do hereby admit you to your various and several degrees. Will the graduands please now be seated?
The members of the graduating class will now be presented individually to the Chancellor, but first, a few requests. Would you please refrain from applauding the individual members of the graduating class until each group of degrees has been conferred? This does not apply to the conferral of doctoral degrees, and obviously we can't forbid spontaneous outbursts of enthusiasm. Nor do we want to. As a courtesy to others, please remain seated until the conclusion of the ceremony, and I'd ask the graduates to please return to your seats following the receipt of your degrees. However, our doctoral graduates can join your colleagues on the platform. The degrees in the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences will now be conferred. Madam Chancellor, Dean and Associate Provost, Graduate and Postdoctoral Studies, Dr. Jeff Dirksen, will announce the names of the students earning graduate degrees.
Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the graduates of the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. The graduates will be hooded by their accompanying faculty supervisor, representative, or by Dr. Jane Polkingham, Dean of the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. The first doctoral degree recipient, Dr. Jody Warren, is also a recipient of the Dean of Graduate Studies Convocation Medal for Academic Excellence. Dr. Warren will be hooded by her supervisor, Dr. Gail Anderson. During her doctoral dissertation, Dr. Warren designated an innovative method to estimate the age of immature insects which can be applied to death investigations. This method adds precision to current techniques and allows forensic entomologists to provide more exact post-mortem interval estimations. During the course of her research, she has received the Terry Fox Gold Medal and the Alexander Goitz Prize. Dr. Warren completed this highly lauded research without letting the lasting effects of a stroke in her early 20s prevent her from achieving these high goals and her own dreams. Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the remaining graduates of the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. Dr. Natalie Clark. Dr. Jesse Elterman. Dr. Elterman is being hooded by his senior supervisor, Dr. Deborah Connolly. Dr. Jordana Gallison. Dr. Greenlee Ho. Dr. Caitlin McColman. Dr. Coleman is being hooded by her supervisor, Dr. Rochelle Falodi. Dr. Joseph Thompson. Dr. Thompson is being hooded by Dr. Rebecca Cobb. Thank you, graduates. Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the graduates of master's degrees in the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. Hilary Ann Amy. Robert Bansal. Lynn Bowe. Marissa Bousfield. Sao Chung. Christine Choquette. Timothy Crothers. Isher Dole. Catherine Enselm. Tadushka Gagrash. Anchal Gai. Gagandeep Gill. Natalia Hanna. Johan Chin. Sukhbir Johal. Gurpreet Khurana. Alexandra Kravitz. Jacqueline Kuzemski. Anne Suyun Lee. Monica Lee. Carolyn Mccrae. Parminder Makar. Jaspreet Mandir. Kim McLandress. David Nasto. Kulnur Sandhu. Munvir Saiko. Roman Surchevsky. Sher Zaman Talib. Fiona Wilson. Thank you, graduates.
Chancellor, there we are. Madam Chancellor, the Dean of the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, Dr. Jane Polkingham, will announce the names of the students earning undergraduate degrees in her faculty.
Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the graduands of the degree of the Bachelor of Arts in the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. The first graduand is the recipient of the Dean's Convocation Medal for Academic Excellence, Ms. Lauren Mccray. I ask Ms. Mccray to come forward. Described by one of her professors as an incredibly talented, accomplished, and amazing student, Lauren accomplished a 4.12 GPA while living independently and working almost full-time throughout her studies. You've heard a lot about her already. I'll just add a little bit more. Her advanced research and writing skills have enabled her to present at a national conference, which is an unusual accomplishment for an undergraduate student. She's working now with one of her professors to submit the article for publication in a leading journal. Lauren received the Mary Batchelor Memorial Award for her extracurricular contributions, and her honors project on boundary setting in close relationships is lauded by her professors as demonstrating a maturity, confidence, and theoretical grasp that's rarely observed among undergraduate students. Lauren. Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the remaining graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Arts in the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. Farah Adam Rahman, Leandra Afan, Sheila Ahmadi, Daniel An, Adrian Alden, Nadira Alif, Samuel Allen, Jenna Aurora, Amrinder Atwal, Caitlin Bersch, Rania Bajo, Chris Barron, Taylor Barron, Jasmine Bazi, Gurveer Basi, Sean Beck, Jenna Bistra, Bridget Beggs, Jared Behiz Yamamoto, Sabrina Bagat, Pauljeet Bandal, Amandeep Bangu, Sukhdeep Barak, Kaylee Bering, Erin Marguerite Bungaling, Alexia Boza, Colin Babrick, Riley Bowra, Harvinder Brum, Jasmine Brar, Chelsea Brewer, Christopher Brearley, Marie-Claude Brisson, Dario Brzovic, Heather Birch, Michael Kahn, Natalie Kahn, Julie Cameron, Sophie Campbell, Cyril Canaria, Karen Kau, Sophie Carter, Mary Louise Sembrano, Erin Chambers, Alexander Chan, Alice Chan, Brian Chan, Chingquan Wandi Chan, Ellen Chan, Oscar Chan, Sarah Chan, Margot Sharwa, Aaron Chen, Hisyang Yun Chen, Hing Chi Chong, Tanner Cherapushak, Chi-Yung Tammy Chiang, Jeremy Chung, Natalie Chung, Ven Chu, Ethan Chiang, Ashley Childs, Duncan Chu, Ryan Chu, Tiffany Chu, Monica Chua, Steve Chua, Victoria Chung, Bowman Chu, Michelle Chu, Lily Chu, Kevin Chuang, Jesse Chung, Mandy Chung, Priscilla Chung, Jasmine Clare, Georgina Clayton, Kenneth Clinton, Chelsea Hope Clow, Haley Coates Cameron, Alyssa Collins, Allison Calhoun, Marissa Combo, Nicole Comer, Taylor Cork, Cassandra Cox, Aidan Kreber, Alexander Cristani, Nicole Kuplo, Sophie Souza, Emily Dabrowski, Ashley Dalazana, Neil Daw, Isabella De Botoli, Stacy Delarey, Rochelle Delorme, Jeremy John Duma-Ala, Alicia Devchi, Pavanpreet Dhaliwal, Amritpal Dama, Ravina Dami, Alicia Dande, Amandeep Dillon, Harman Dillon, Maria Di Paolo, Mila Jordovich, April Doolan, Haris Moran Dosange, Marta Dudick, Aaron Dulé, Paul Duong, Justin Durana, Keldon Edwards, Ehsan Elhaj Hassan, Danielle Eckerton, Marwan Empanido, Brian Enns, Sebastian Faber, Stephanie Falcone, Riley Feeney, Shannon Ferrier, Hannah Fickert, Stephanie Finn, Fracil Mayflores, Ryan Fowler, Robin Friesen, Crystal Fung, Andrew Gao, Emily Gardner, Erin Gardner, Alex G, Chorok Jean, Media Gulam, Gurvinder Gill, Harmeen Gill, Sajin Gill, Taylor Goebel, Sarah Gonzalez Fraser, James Gray, Haley Grayson, Dong Guo, Karen Hagberg, Sojung Han, Natalie Harding, Kari Lynn Harris, Susan Hasso, Stephanie Hei Chu, Vanessa Harkun, Ramona Hicker, Jen Hilario, Kasin Joy Ho, Lai Ting Ho, Queenie Ho, Nancy Huang, Skylar Hong, Shushmita Hussain, Michelle Hu, Kelly Huang, Michelle Hubble, Donna Hutchison, Kimberly Huynh, Danielle Ingberg, Yasmin Iranfar, Sayeda Ismail, Dilpreet Jasal, Taranjit Jaswal, Ruth Jen, Gurveer Johal, Daniel Jung, Kelvin Kainth, Daljinder Kaler, Gurleen Kalkat, Jasmine Kalu, Elizabeth Kaminsky, Hannah Khan, Sarah Kanborg, Sharon Kang, Kirandeep Kaur, Janet Kennedy, Shamira Khan, Hamanpreet Kangura, Adrian Shah, Shureen Korsandi, Sun Ha Kim, Emil Klassen, Brian Kong, Medina Kovacevic, Madeline Crete, Kara Christofferson, Andrew Koo, Joel Kumar, Lisa Kung, Alicia Kurji Chagani, John Kuto, Joyce Kwok, Vincent Kwok, Megan Levy, Melanie Lai, Sirat Laila, Prabjit Lali, Melissa Lambert, Jeremy Lashar, Jeffrey Lau, Victor Wailun Lau, Chotima Lavakichiant, Natla, Alicia LeBlond, Una Lee, Gregory Lee, Paul Lee, Maverick Lee, Michelle Lee, Lisa Lehner, Kenny Leon Gonzalez, Andy Leung, Candace Leung, Christopher Leung, Iochi Leung, Brian Leung, Cerise Lee, Catherine Lee, Linda Lee, Felix Liang, Victoria Liang, Alexa Lysing, Chantal Liu, Emily Lloyd, Kevin Lomas, Claudia Longauer, Megan Leung, Ellie Louis, Dennis Luke, Lona Luo, Maria Christi Luciani, Nikki Lai, Heather McFarlane, Carolyn Mccrae, Rachel McLeod, Katerina Mango, Michaela Ma, Deepak Mal, Stephanie Malish, Jenna Mand, Carmichael Manfredi, Gagandeep Man, Ramandeep Man, Hannah Marining, Maria Moroni, Bernice Martinez, Tyler Mason, Jacob Mattis, Tonali Matthews Evans, Megan McClenahan, Megan McDowell, Michaela McGuire, Alexa McNeil, Shayla Mccray, Jacine Meerkirk, Mobin Mer Parvar, Shahira Memon, Andrea Imbriani, Taylor Merritt, Orlando Micheli, Manbir Menhas, Marigona Makichi, Robin Magavero, Harpreet Monder, Holly Monitz, Karen Montesero Guevara, Veronica Morganova, Paige Morris, Cooper Moreau, Jenez Mowat, Brandon Mulholland, Ewa Mun, Minju Mun, Sania Munib, Chloe Myers, Danielle Nerniak, Lakshmi Nair, Shayna Nairn, Shailene Nand, Jared Nash, Tea Nelelsu, Kaylee Nelson, Stefan Neves Silva, Adam Ng, Crystal Lee, Kana Ng, Paul Wen Yen, Fiona Nguyen, King Nguyen, Sipo Nari, Savannah Nielsen, Kayam Nurani, Deanna Oda, Kevin On, Jared Osterby, Jenilyn Palmer, Abigail Paris, Rashmi Parhar, Rowan Parhar, Jisun Park, Abe Park, Sachin Patigoda, Chelsea Power, Crystal Millie, Marie Phelan, Jordan Pink. Thank you. You're welcome. Andrea Pirvu, Angela Pinto, Alicia Pitam, Dion Poon, Eldwin Poon, Lemieux Poon, Shelby Priest, Natasha Pullum, Michael Punzalan, Ronald Punzalan, Vivian Quach, Rina Rahamtullah, Faraya Rajput, Ever Ramos Garza, Pavan Rana, Raj Randhawa, Ravina Randhawa, Johnny Reyes, Hannah Ridgway, Ashley Roberts, Kayla Robson, Cassidy Roeder, Valerie Rojic, Kayla Rosenberg, Gal Rosen, Tyler Rutherford, April Ryan, Hannah Ryu, Eric Sagmon, Gurup Sahota, Raman Sal, Sofia Victoria Sanchez, Harnek Sandhar, Arjun Sangha, Victoria Saunders, Alexis Schlick, Tamara Schmidt, Katrina Sabellin, Carissa Seiler, Pavneet Sikone, Puneet Sikone, Patrick Sham, Vedant Sharma, Homan Shu, Jagminder Sidhu, Rita Sidhu, Gary Su, Jackson Scarratt, Gillian Smith, Rajan Smith, Sarah Smith, Benjamin Smythe, King Yu So, Alicia Soni, Helen Spandari, Sarah Stanley, Lila Steiner-Jovic, Amy Stewart, Philip Andrew Stiller, Liliana Stoy, Peyton Strain, Megan Stratford, Daniela Strazzolo, Dennis Su, Angel Suko, Dilpreet Suri, Sydney Swan, Lauren Swistak, Rhea Talwar, Charity Tam, Hong Tan, Vincent Tan, Carson Tang, Krista Taylor, Simone Tessler, Jennifer Tester, Jessica Tandy, Heather Tom, Meg Toma, Elizabeth Tilley, Craig Titterington, Jackie Tse, Chloe Tsu, Henry Tsu, Stephanie Tu, Oliver Vajda, Alex Vardy, Mallory Velt, Anthony Virdo, Supreet Virk, Daniel Voloshin, Dexter Wang, Misato Watanabe, Ian Waters, Tasha Wairanen, Lauren Webster, Austin Weersink, Colton Westmark, Jacqueline Williams, Althea Chingyan Wong, Ashley Wong, Colin Wong, Shannon Wong, Victor Wong, Wing Chu Wong, Nathan Wu, Emily Wright, Karen Wu, Ronnie Wu, Charlotte Yam, Andrea Yamazaki, Kelly Yang, Lucas Yang, Irene Yang, Pei Yang, Sung-Yong Yang, Josephine Yao, Stephanie Kyla Yap, Darian Yee, Janet Yee, Monica Patricia Yanko, Ailey Ka Young, Doris Yuen, Phoebe Yuen, Vicky Yuen, Umbreen Zafar, Naomi Zakime, Hanchi Zhang, Jessie Zhong, Jen Zhou, and Madam Chancellor, I am pleased to present the students who have completed the requirements for diplomas and certificates in the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. Min Min Chai, Maitland Waddell,
Will the graduating class please rise? I congratulate each of you on the completion of your degree. This is an impressive achievement, and I ask your friends, family, and members of the platform to join me in applauding the amazing graduating class of June 2018. Now let's not forget all those who helped you to get here. I invite the members of the graduating class to reciprocate by applauding your family, friends, faculty, and staff, indeed all those who helped you to achieve your goal. Please be seated.
Friends, this completes the formal awarding of degrees. Some of the graduands recommended by Senate for their degrees today have been unable to be present, and their names have therefore not been read out, but I now admit them to their appropriate degrees as shown in the program. I have several thank yous to express. First, to all of you for joining us on this celebratory afternoon. Second, to the many volunteers, staff, and faculty members coordinated by ceremonies and events and student services who have worked together to run a smooth Convocation day. They're the ones that make sure it's not actively raining, so we have to be very grateful to them. And to the members of our 6-time world champion Simon Fraser University Pipe Band for their contribution to Convocation. And they will be performing again after the ceremony in Freedom Square behind the platform. Can you join me in thanking them all? This brings to a close the formal part of this afternoon's convocation. You are all now invited to attend a reception in Junction 65 to my right behind the platform. I ask that you kindly rise and remain standing at your places until the platform party has recessed. Thank you. Yeah, we'll wait. Thank you, sir. Congratulations.